It's time for my theories on love. Here's my theory on love for the day. To have a really devotional love, you have to have devotion towards everything in your life. Or maybe that's like the ideal way to do it. Devotion towards one thing only, one being only, it becomes worship. But that's your thing. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. But that also means you can't lose devotion in favor of other things. You have to effectively balance, which is what a lot of us think we're doing in our day-to-day. With our, that's why we use boundaries, we talk about things, we try to figure things out. But a lot of the time, a lot of us are just really protective over ourselves. So we don't want to give devotion to too many places. And that's what we're calling balance, by holding back our devotion. By not meeting what's being asked of you, what's being asked by yourself or others. You would have to know how to surrender to the rhythms of devotion. Now hang in there because it's about to get real extra. I like using media. To look at love. Right now, we're going to look at Don to Don. So chill out and open up. When they are separate and they're encountering danger, they are still often in the throes of the same battle together. This can be looked at like a relationship conflict. When we look at media, any opposing force tends to challenge everything going on. It's not just, on the surface, it's just a fight. Like, it's just a physical challenge. But the main characters usually have to use their brains and their relationships. What's going on? Their hearts, their individual selves to solve whatever conflict it is, to win the battle. It appears to manifest in physical or spiritual strength, but it's usually also a lot of things combined, which is essentially, having spiritual strength. How I refer to spiritual strength is communion with oneself and the things that the self loves. But really just communion with the self, because that's still the same thing. A lot of times when we see these battles in relationships, we think, we resolve to them being about like doubt. And so it leads to mistrust and things spiral in that direction. Even when we see Momo and Okarun struggle with doubt, it doesn't really even outwardly seem to impact the relationship very much. When they are fighting something separately, they are always still fighting it together. It's why when there is a conflict, we, wonder how they're going to solve it, but we're also looking for the rest of the team. So instead of doubt, I would argue that it's possibly just more so the separation itself that is now adding to the level of their conflict. Can they be separate and can they still be fine? Not just in the sense of knowing how to operate without each other, but in the sense that even our separation aligns with each other's separation. That one's hard to explain. But you can see it when they face doubt, because it's the separation itself that almost increases their individual awareness of the threat. Because now it's like, is this a threat just that I'm just facing? Is it a threat I need the help of my person? Is it a threat I have to worry about hurting my person? Is it, how do I fight this battle? It's like intuitive strategy. A lot of us move through it really quickly. Can the two of them separate and be fine? Yes. Momo goes off to, she leaves Gigi and Okarun while she goes to the onsen. And Okarun tries to figure out how he needs to show up with Gigi. They're off on their own, life's journeys that still work in tandem with their devotion to each other. Because while they're separated, the threat is forming that's going to come against all of them. But it's important that they're living their lives openly enough to devote themselves to the other aspects of their lives, to their other excitements, their other truths. A lot of us have an easy time saying, we'd go and save our partner if it was a life or death situation. Of course we would. But we don't realize how life or death, spiritually, a lot of instances are in our lives. That's why people are so protective over themselves, and it causes so much friction and conflict with another person. We like to look at it casually because it makes it easier to not think about. I would say once you learn your rhythm, you can stop. It can be as serious, and you still not have to think about it too much. Oh, look at that! Very visible life or death situations like that, they're rare and extreme. It's easy to, do something like that in a rare and extreme situation. It's easy to see yourself doing something like that in something you don't really come across. And something that means saving their lives and saving the love. The question is, are you willing and able to devote yourself in the everyday? Are you able to believe in the fact that you don't have to lose everything to do so? We see that that Momo and Okarun are, and that it only makes them stronger every single time.